We all know the name of the O K Corral, the most famous showdown in the history of the West. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Ike Clanton. These names have become famous and infamous in pop culture since the fight between the Earp Brothers and the Clantons erupted that fateful day in Tombstone. But the fight in Arizona territory wasn't the greatest gunfight in the West, only the most publicized. In truth, the greatest gun battle happened not in Arizona, but in Kansas. It involved men who never became household names, though they certainly should have. It all started in 1869 when Kinch James Reilly, a young Irish-American kid slowly dying of tuberculosis, arrived in the small town of Newton. An outsider with no connections to any locals, Reilly did not attempt to make friends or even get along with most people who lived in Newton. The exception to this was Michael McCluskey, Newton's sheriff and a fellow Irish-American who, initially suspicious of the new arrival, soon found himself taking pity on him and welcoming the stranger into his home. Soon Reilly became a regular at the McCluskey place, spending most of his days with the sheriff, who in turn taught him how to use the 2 Colt revolvers he owned but had the faintest idea how to wield. The lawman, an expert shot, soon had his young protos shattering beer bottles in one go, Reilly being a natural at it. In the following years, Newton, originally a small frontier town, boomed with the coming of the railroad, and with this coming came more saloons, houses of pleasure, gambling dens, and all the violent and criminally minded men who ran them. Among these was Hugh Anderson, son of a wealthy Texan rancher who, while not a professional criminal, didn't shy away from breaking the law here and there when it suited his interests. Whether James really crossed paths with Anderson in the early days of the Texan coming to Newton is unknown, but they most definitely learned of each other soon enough. Anderson became friends with another man from the Lone Star State, William Billy Bailey, who, like himself, held no qualms in tweaking the law when he wanted to. At first, there was no indication either man might do anything heinous, both living quiet lives. But eventually, the two came into conflict with McCluskey, tensions brewing over time, Bailey constantly picking verbal arguments with the latter. Things became deadly on the night of August 11, 1871, when the two men were drinking at the Red Front Saloon. What sparked the fight seems to have been a disagreement over politics with Bailey, as per usual, beginning the verbal exchange. However, this time, perhaps influenced by drink, the Texan swung at the lawman, igniting a fistfight. The two fought viciously, while other patrons watched on, whistling, cheering on their preferred winner. McCluskey, taking several punches to the face, finally gave in to his primal rage. He savagely beat Bailey before hurling him out of the saloon onto Newton's dirt-brown streets where, blinded by hatred, he emptied his revolver into the man's chest. Bailey died the next day. McCluskey left town, but, mistakenly believing he could get off on a self-defense bid, returned just a few days later, unaware of Hugh Anderson's plans of revenge. Why the lawman didn't count on Anderson or other friends of Bailey's to seek vengeance against him is anyone's guess. But he showed little fear at the possibility, even really never considered it.